Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the Tech Guy is provided by CacheFly. CacheFly.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and if you'd like to help us design our new website, I invite you to visit twit.to/navtest. We've got 8 quick questions we'd like to ask you that will help us make the navigation easier to use. That's twit.to/navtest. Thanks a lot. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on Sunday, December 14th, 2014. This is episode 1144. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by FreshBooks, the simple cloud accounting solution that helps millions of entrepreneurs and small business owners save time billing and get paid faster. Join over 5 million users running their businesses with ease. Try it free at freshbooks.com/techguy. And by Harry's. For guys who want a great shave experience for a fraction of what you're paying now, go to harrys.com. And just in time for the gift season, for new and existing customers, you'll get $5 off the limited edition Winter Winston set by entering the code TechGuyHoliday at checkout. And by Jack Irwin. Jack Irwin sells men's shoes made from the finest material at honest prices, and they ship them right to your door. Check out their shoe collections at jackerwin.com/twit. That's JACKERWIN.com/twit. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Time to talk about computers and the internet and home theater and digital photography and crazy Christmas lights. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. 888-827-5536. That's toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. Outside that area, you can use Skype to call us. Our website, techguylabs.com. That's good to keep in mind if you hear me say something or, you know, what was it? What did he mention? Oh, what was the name of that thing? You don't have to send me an email. You can just go right to the website. And not only do we have kind of quick notes about everything I talk about as I talk about it, thank you, James DeRuvo, but after the fact, audio and video of the show is put up there. We break it down hour by hour and question by question. We have kind of a comment section if you have some thoughts. And so there's a lot of information about anything you hear here. So you don't have to be in the dark. You know what? We're looking back in 2014. Can you believe we're going into 2015? I feel like we're living in the future somehow. One thing no one predicted for the future. They thought we'd have flying cars by now. No. Talking computers with personalities. No. But one thing nobody predicted is that hackers would have kind of free reign to wander the planet doing whatever they want. That we've got. We talked yesterday a little bit about the Sony Pictures Entertainment hack and how devastating that was. That the bad guys, whoever they are, and we still don't know who they are. I don't really think that it was the North Korean government, wreaking their revenge for the movie The Interview. I don't think that was it. But who knows? We don't really know who did it, and unless they make a mistake, a blunder. We may never know who did it. That's kind of one of the things about these hacks. It's really scary is these people can continue on pretty anonymously and without punishment. Usually when we get these hackers, when we get the, and I'm going to use the word attackers or cyber attackers or something, because I don't want, hackers can mean somebody who's benignly just, messing around with stuff and learning. And I think all programmers are hackers to some extent. That's not a bad thing necessarily. But these attackers, one of the things that almost always gets them in trouble is they have a hard time not boasting, not going into chat rooms and saying, hey, I did that. Or let me tell you how I did that, because they're proud of it. Yeah, I was clever. I don't think that's going to happen in this case, but maybe. Governmental hackers don't usually blab unless they want to say, see, we got you. But I don't know if this is a governmental attack on the Sony thing. I don't know. I think my kind of inclination is, Sony's made a lot of enemies in the hacker and the gaming community. They going back quite a few years, maybe 10 years, when they put copy protection on some of their video games that really was what we call a rootkit, was hidden software that they snuck on people's computers. That really irritated some people who have some skills with a Z. And then, it's gone on and on. The PlayStation, you remember the PlayStation Network got hacked and was down for a long time because they couldn't figure out how to get rid of the attackers. I have a feeling this is kind of an ongoing saga of people who just, for some reason, have a thing for Sony. Now we're seeing, according to Bloomberg Businessweek, that an Iranian hacker last February killed all the servers at the Venetian Casino. Or I'm sorry, the Sands Casino. The Sands Casino, Las Vegas Sands. The servers were going down. Computers were flatlining. This is the article I'm reading from by Ben Elgin and Michael Riley, Bloomberg Businessweek. Computers were flatlining. Email was down. The phones didn't work. Several of the technology systems that helped run the $14 billion casino operation had sputtered to a halt. This is in the early morning hours. The Sands was under a withering cyber attack. The company's technical staff had never seen anything like it. Numerous systems were felled, including those that run the loyalty rewards plans for Sands customers, programs that monitor the performance and payout of slot machines and table games, and a multi-million-dollar storage system. IT guys ran around the casino pulling the network cords out of the computers, taking them offline, including PCs used by pit bosses and kiosks where slot players cash in their tickets. But the hackers weren't trying to rob the casino. This was personal. It was an attack by Iranian hackers against Sheldon Adelson, who owns this casino. Adelson, Shelley, we call him. He was the guy who created Comdex, made a lot of money on the big computer trade show in Vegas. One of the richest men in the world, 81 years old. He's worth $27.4 billion, and he's given a lot of money to Israel. And apparently he made some pretty big enemies with the supreme leader of Iran at the head. They hacked into the casino. So there's a governmental hack, and they proudly said, hey, we did that. We will punish you. We live in a world now where cyber warfare is increasingly the means of attack between countries. We discovered, last week was discovered an amazing, sophisticated virus called Regin, R-E-G-I-N, that was clearly designed by governments, probably ours, the U.S. government, or the British government, or maybe both together, and was used to hack into systems all over the world as part of espionage. It was used to hack into things like airline and hotel reservation systems so people could be tracked. And this was clearly governmental, probably our own government. We are in an age of cyber warfare, and as you might imagine, a lot of what's going on we don't see, we don't know about. Really an interesting story here, this hack of the Sands Casino. To punish, basically, Sheldon Adelson for his support of Israel. And it worked. Cost him millions of dollars. It's, in a way, I almost prefer that to them attacking us. So, but unfortunately, we might be collateral damage in this kind of cyber warfare. Apparently, Sony was hacked a year ago, or almost a year ago, in February of this year, right about the same time as the casinos were hacked. And they decided not to say anything about it. Oh, let's just And it may even be, there's some thought, we still don't know what happened at Sony, but there's some thought that maybe what happened in these past week or two was a side effect or related to the hacks that happened in February. That's why it's good not to ignore this kind of stuff. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I wanted to reiterate it. If you were a big Black Friday, you got in line at Black Friday, and I think a lot of people thought, wow, great deals. That's every year they do this. Beware, buyer beware, especially when it comes to electronics. New York Times reported on research done by two big websites, which I really love, the Wirecutter and the Sweet Home. These are sites that recommend personal electronics for people. They're very good to keep around. They researched more than 54,000 holiday deals, Black Friday deals, and they found that fewer than 1% are worth your time. In fact, about only 300 of the deals were actually deals. The rest were either junky stuff you don't want, or more likely, not deals at all. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Buyer beware. Caveat emptor. Our show today brought to you by FreshBooks. Oh, I love me some FreshBooks. They were a lifesaver when I was a freelancer and invoicing people. It was one of the things I hated most about being a freelancer. I liked working for myself. That was a lot of fun. But every month I had to put out these invoices. I'd often forget, and then I wouldn't get paid. FreshBooks solved that problem for me by making it really easy to invoice. FreshBooks is built for these growing businesses, these individual entrepreneurs or small businesses. In fact, they've done some studies, and on average, FreshBooks customers double their revenue in the first 24 months. I was using Microsoft Word to create these invoices. With FreshBooks, it was so easy to make the invoices. And, they send them via email. You can use U.S. mail. There's a variety of ways to invoice people. I would invoice them in every way possible. But what was great is you got paid faster because there's a button on the email that says pay. And because FreshBooks works with all the big payment systems, it was really easy for my clients to pay me. In fact, on average, FreshBooks users get paid 5 days faster. And if you have a slow pay client, you don't have to worry about those awkward emails or phone calls. The FreshBooks will send automated late payment reminders, so you get paid faster. Now they've got these mobile apps on iOS and Android that let you keep track of your hours, take pictures of your receipts, so it's easy to bill for expenses. They grow with your business. You can add clients, projects, and staff simply and easily. Once you get started with FreshBooks, you're going to love it. In fact, they have some great webinars that'll make it easy. If you ever need help, of course, FreshBooks has great support. Some of the best in the business. You'll talk to a real person every time. They're ready to help, and support is free forever. PC Magazine said, FreshBooks is simple and friendly. Its invoice management is among the best. In fact, they gave it an editor's choice for both the web application and the mobile apps. You're going to love it. That's why we've got a 30-day free trial for you. FreshBooks.com/techguy. FreshBooks.com/techguy. And all I ask is when they ask you, how'd you hear about us? You just say, hey, I heard you on the Tech Guy Show, the Tech Guy Podcast. Your accountant will love it, too, when it comes tax time. Make 2015 the year you get it all together. FreshBooks.com/techguy. Tell them you heard it on the Tech Guy Show. Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy, 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number, 888-827-5536. We are talking high tech. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to talk. We talk every year with Jim Ziemkowski. I think that's right. Ziemkowski? Mike Ziemkowski. Thank you. About his Christmas lights display. He does an amazing thing with audio animatronics, and he's got he's added more snow, 12,000 more LEDs. We'll talk to Mike in just a little bit about his amazing display in Sherman Oaks, California. But meanwhile, let's say hi to Heather Hammond, the phone ranger.
Good morning.
Do you decorate for the holidays? You put lights up?
I do, actually, because that's the most cheery thing, and it displays to the outside world. And I'm the only person on my street, by the way.
Are you?
Yes. It's sad.
Crazy. That's really what I think one of the things about December holidays, whether it's Hanukkah or Christmas or Kwanzaa or whatever, is that the days are getting shorter, the nights are getting longer, it seems darker, and lights, it's all about the lights. Hanukkah's the festival of lights because you want to kind of light up the darkness.
Yeah, it's so
warm
much more
everything up.
Cheery.
Yeah.
And actually, all of the lights in the city by the bay like make me happy.
In San Francisco, they light up they put on the outlines of the buildings on Embarcadero.
Yep.
But that's beautiful. I love what they do there.
That's one of the first to go up, I think, like right around Thanksgiving. And my lights are non-denominational. They're blue and white, not red and green.
Red and green is not denominational.
Well,
and then I love going down to Macy's in New York and looking at the displays and the windows and all the lights. And New York is so pretty because they really light it up. It's so gorgeous.
I like to go slobber on the Tiffany window.
Yeah. Those are little windows, I guess, so there's less room for slobber.
True.
Yeah, they have
Just
little
kiss
windows.
Marks. And then the puppies in the
Kiss
Macy's
marks.
window. Oh, die.
In San Francisco, they have puppies in the window?
Puppies and kitties.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It is. It's
Nobody
fantastic.
doesn't love it. We didn't really, I haven't put my, John, let's find that giant wreath. We usually have a big wreath up here. We didn't really do the decorations here this year.
Yeah, there's still time.
I'm going to get Mike next year to come up here and decorate us.
Yes.
We ought to have a display. Anyway.
We in that 12-day mode? Yeah, today's the first day.
We could do it now.
Wait, when does that start? I forget.
We could do that now.
Yeah.
Before we do that, though, I probably should take some calls.
Oh, right. Speaking of Christmas,
yes,
Devin has something on his list, but he wants to check with you first before he tells Santa.
Naughty or nice, you check it twice. Devin in Pomona, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Devin.
Hi.
Welcome.
I was wondering if this was a good gaming computer to buy or to ask for Christmas.
Oh, you're going to ask for a gaming computer. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. What one are you interested in?
It's an iBuyPower TD741 gaming PC.
iBuyPower is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I like their stuff. iBuyPower makes custom computers of all kinds, but the gaming stuff that they do has been, in my experience, pretty good. What's the price on that?
It's $499.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, I thought so, but I wasn't exactly sure.
the thing on a gaming? What game do you want to play?
Probably League of Legends and World of Warcraft.
League of Legends and World of Warcraft aren't super demanding. That's the good news. The demanding games are things like Crysis and Far Cry and Call of Duty, where you really got, first person, a lot of graphics, a lot of movement, a lot of things going on. That's when it really bogs down.
Yeah, I saved that for the console.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. So no, I think I think this will be fun. What's the graphics card in that? Do you know? That's what you got to ask about.
I think it's an Intel Pentium.
Okay, that's what we call the CPU, or the main brain of the computer, and that's important too because it's the one that's figuring out where things are and what's going on. But then the graphics processor unit, or GPU, is the workhorse for putting it on the screen, and both of them have to be fast enough.
Oh, so the GPU/VPU?
Yeah, what's that?
The NVIDIA GeForce GT 610.
Very nice. For that price, that's a nice system. Tell Mom and Dad that's what you want for the holidays. I think an excellent choice. Actually, I think you're right. The console, PC gamers are going to get mad at me at this point. There's still people who play games on PCs. And a lot of them say, and I think they're probably right, that's the best experience because if you throw enough horsepower at it, you can get the most amazing high-res, much higher res than the consoles. And the controls maybe with a mouse and a keyboard are a little more sophisticated than just the console controller and all that. But boy, there's nothing easier than popping in a disc or nowadays just downloading the game onto your console and you play, and that's it. And if you're playing on a big screen TV that's 8 feet away, it doesn't matter if it's super high resolution. You won't really notice the difference. But when you're sitting in front of a high-res computer display, that's when you need a lot of power. A lot of power. On the games you're playing, World of Warcraft, League of Legends, I think it's less critical. I wouldn't worry about it so much. I just saw a really interesting, I think it was from Alienware, tiny little computer that's really intended for the living room. I think that's one thing that's starting to happen, is this idea that maybe your gaming is going to take place in the living room, and instead of making it be a big old computer in the living room, you got a little tiny one that's called the Alienware Alpha. It looks like a console. Starts at $549, and although you can get up a lot higher to almost $1,000 when you max it out, it's $899. But it's the cutest little thing. Intel i5 or i7 Windows are on it. Yep, and it has an NVIDIA graphics card in it. And but the whole idea is this is to compete with the consoles. It's console-like. So yeah, really you have to think about what the game is and how much horsepower the game demands. It's a NUC, says Cosmic Ray. Kind of looks like a NUC, isn't a NUC? That's the Intel box. They call it the new unit of computing. They're just little, they're like 2 decks of cards. Excuse me. 8888 ask Leo. It's nice that Devin wanted to check before he put that on his Christmas list. Coming up, we're going to go visit the amazing lights on display. You can go to lightsondisplay.com if you want to see the video. It's in Sherman Oaks. And we'll talk to its creator, Mike, in just a little bit. He's been doing this since the year, well, actually, this house is since 2003, but he's even gone farther back. You can see all of his displays. But the 2014 is pièce de résistance. I should warn you, if you decorate for Christmas or Hanukkah and you think you got it down, you might want to check out Mike's display before you start boasting. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. He's got a DJ. He's got dancing snowmen. He's got elves. There he is, DJ Jingles. Apparently been updated this year. Good photo guy. Yeah, I saw your test. Looks like we'll be good. Chris Marquardt is the photo guy at 12:30. Ziemkowski. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, there he is. Hey, Mike.
How you doing?
Welcome back.
Thank you. Nice to see you again.
We were just watching the lights on display. Wow.
Yeah. It's a little brighter this year.
Wow. 12,000 more LEDs. How many total?
Yeah. I've never really counted. It's hard to make that.
You shouldn't count.
I'm thinking, 50 to 75,000. It's hard to say. I've added over the years.
But adding 12,000 made it a lot brighter, huh?
Yeah. The big trees are now decorated fully. And
oh, that's pretty.
It's really bright in the canyon. It's actually a glow now a little bit.
Great.
Pretty amazing.
The neighbors are really happy now.
They're great. Actually, they love it.
They don't mind. Like, you've become
one time.
Yeah.
One time I get to talk to my neighbors. Actually, that'll come by when
Do you go around in July knocking on doors saying, "I just want to warn you"?
I warned the one neighbor when he moved in. Actually, moved in on Thanksgiving Day last year.
Oh no.
You're moving into something like really large and big. If you check out lights on display, you'll see it. And so he did, and he loves it. They actually put up lights. That's the first time that a house has ever had
that's
lights.
neat. It's got to be in the real estate disclosures when people sell houses in your neighborhood. They say, and just remember, Mike's going to do this thing.
Since I moved in, the street's actually getting more lit up, which is great.
Yeah, because they want to participate, right? They want to have part of the fun.
It's something different every year, something to look forward to. I mean, it's a change, you know, from the whole year of the dark canyon.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's fun.
Great. All right, we'll hang on a little bit. We're going to come back after the ad.
Sounds good.
And we shall do it. I bet they can see it from space. NASA ever said anything?
I love to see it from a plane to see what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
All this darkness up in
Get
the
a drone.
hills.
Get a drone.
Yeah, I know. I should have to find somebody that has one.
Yeah. Thinking of giving my son a drone for Christmas.
And my friend actually has one back in Indiana. But
yeah. Next year, the video's got to have drone footage.
yeah, I know. That's becoming big now on all display sites.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a big video production, too. You're a video editor, right, Mike?
Right. Yeah, I'm a promo editor.
Yeah. So you know.
So I go out and shoot one night and just keep shooting every angle and put it together.
Oh, interesting. So you don't do multiple cameras?
I do one camera, one angle, one run after another, and I just keep changing locations.
Oh, my
God.
God.
It takes all night to do.
Yeah, I bet it does.
And editing actually goes a lot faster than the shoot.
Well, you have a soundtrack, so that probably makes it a little bit easier.
I sync it on my original track. I sync it, lay it out, and just cut it.
Yeah. All right, hang on. Here we go.
Okay, sounds good.
It's becoming a holiday tradition on the Tech Guy Show to get Mike Ziemkowski on the line and talk about his amazing house in Sherman Oaks, lightsondisplay.com if you want to see video, or better yet, if you're in the Southern California area, you could drive by. Hey, Mike, happy holidays.
Hi, Leo. Same to you, Leo. Thanks.
This is even bigger than ever. You said 12,000 more LEDs than before.
Right, 12,000 more this year. It's a lot brighter.
How many watts of power do you use up?
Well, I figured out that each string is rated at 1.02 amps, so you could actually get 800 strings, I think, on one 16-amp circuit, so it's pretty incredible. I mean,
when you started doing this, they didn't have LEDs. You were using incandescent bulbs.
C7s back in Indiana, which I actually had to tap into my air conditioning unit to actually power. It was so much draw. I mean, I actually had a breakout box to hook up. Now it's like one outlet's no problem.
How'd you get started doing this?
My dad started it back when I was a kid and just kept building.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Plywood cutouts. And, and I eventually wanted to get into animatronics, and then it became capable with the system I'm using, software I'm using. So,
Mike, we should mention, is a video editor. In fact, I see behind you on the Skype picture a little Emmy Award back there. Yeah. An Emmy Award-winning video editor. So you have a job, but this has become, I imagine, a big part of what you do. When do you start your lights?
I start music selection in May, usually. And if I'm building new animatronics, I start building in the summer, early summer.
Holy cow.
Programming probably started in October this year. It took about a little over a month to program.
Is there special software for this?
The software I use is called Lightorama, and it controls everything. Everything you see is integrated into that one software package.
Amazing.
And it's,
so what does it look like on the screen? I mean, what does your interface to Lightorama look like?
It's like a big grid, and you'd actually click in the grid to a tenth of a second, and you can actually go scale it up, whatever, and you just click on how much you want the light on, how much time you want the light on or off, and then you actually have ramps up and down and some effects. So
that would make it a lot easier, nowadays to do this, because it has to be synchronized to the music. There's a lot of motion. You have, as you said, animatronics, so that means, there goes Santa's sleigh with Rudolph going up in the air. You've got elves in boxes. You've got DJ Jingles, who is playing the music, and he's lip-synced, and all of that stuff is controlled by the software?
Correct. Everything's controlled by the software. I use a software to actually program the heads. It actually tracks my head movements with a little infrared tracker. And then I export that out into Lightorama and then tweak it as needed.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing how
wow. And it's different. It's a different music track every year.
Every year I do a whole new routine, a whole new edited track. So this year is actually the longest at 12 and a half minutes.
So how long is the show?
12 and a half minutes.
12 and a half minutes.
Yeah, the longest.
And then you
ever.
just repeat it again and again?
It's a constant loop all night from 5 to 10 p.m.
5 to 10 p.m. And the neighbors, what are they?
They're great.
They don't mind.
My neighbor brings his son out every night. He has to come out and see the display before bedtime. Which
really
cool.
That's so neat.
It's so fun. I mean,
you're in a canyon in Sherman Oaks, so
yeah.
You kind of, this lights up the canyon.
I can see, and I can also see my spotlight running across behind the house, whatever, and actually hits the trees behind, which are there's a major road behind me called River Glen, and it actually sweeps the house.
Do you is it constant traffic going by your house?
It's actually pretty quiet. I mean, it's actually been pretty quiet this year so far. I mean
people don't know about it.
Yeah, I know. It's actually hard to get the word out in LA. It's really tough.
Oh man! Well, everybody needs to go to lightsondisplay.com and you can get directions to Mike Sherman Oaks' home. And if people drive by, can they tune their radio in to hear the track or?
Right, 107.9 is a little
you
transmitter I have. Yeah.
107.9. That's kind of nice because then you can hear it clearly. And the cars, do they stop or they have to? 12 minutes. I guess they'd stop.
They stop and they line up across the street, and you can look back at the house. Or a lot of people get out and actually with the kids, and then there's snow out there, so they can actually stand. As kids love the snow. The snow runs quite a bit during the show.
Yeah, how do you do that? Is that what is that snow?
It's a DMX controlled snow machine that blows like little soap bubbles, and it looks. I mean, the wind's right. It looks perfect. It's actually like it's snowing.
It does. It's really cool. You got it on the video. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Wow, Mike. Well, thank you for doing this every year. You've been doing it since. There's video anyway on your site going back to the year 2000, but you were doing it even before then.
I think I started in 7th grade, and I just kept building and growing, and then with the computer, the ability, the technology. I mean, back in 2003, it started growing again with the computer.
That's
control.
really changed everything. LEDs and computer technology make this so much.
It's amazing.
What's your power bill for this thing?
It isn't that bad actually. I mean, actually, the tree inside the house probably takes up more power, and the computer running inside and everything. I mean, the LEDs are just so efficient.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an amazing technology.
It's really amazing.
It's so bright and crisp and clean, and they last pretty long. I mean, actually, they do fail, unfortunately, but they last a lot longer than incandescents. Yeah,
I've at least for Christmas, LEDs have been an amazing innovation. Yeah,
and these are very close to like incandescent look. They're just brighter and crisper color-wise.
Mike, everybody should visit your website, lightsondisplay.com, and if you want, there's a link list of all the vendors, so you can find out who makes the software, including and the hardware, including the Lightorama that does the software that you run this in. Thank you for a link back to us too. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, lightsondisplay.com in Sherman Oaks, California. Every year it gets better and better and better, and it's really impressive that you do this, Mike. Mike Ziemkowski, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Same to you, Leo.
Yeah, take care. Mike, how long are you going to keep this up?
Through New Year's Day.
Okay. So if you can't make it by Christmas Day, it'll continue for another week after that. And then how long does it take you to dismantle it?
A couple of weekends. It goes down. It goes down quick. I mean, I don't have to think about the wiring.
And you store it in your garage, or?
Yeah, I'm maxing out right now. I mean, that sleigh is pretty much life size, so that pretty much takes up the.
It's an actual
car space. It's pretty sad.
You don't do anything for Halloween, I'm guessing.
I used to, but not anymore.
Who has room?
I was programming on Halloween this year. Actually, I was actually getting up at 4 in the morning this past November, whatever, just to get done in time.
What fun!
So it's been crazy.
Hey, thank you, Mike. I appreciate
you
joining us. Each week or each year we talk about it, and it's such a great thing to do. Lights on display, and I know there are people all over the country doing this now. In fact, I saw on ABC just a few days ago they had a competition from people who decorate their homes. It's really become a fun thing to do. But I think Mike's got it down. Light, sound, and motion, all in Sherman Oaks, and you can find out more at lightsondisplay.com. 8888 Ask Leo. That's our phone number. Dale is next from Brooksville, Florida. Hello, Dale.
Yeah, hi, Leo. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling in.
I got a little thing that started up about 6 or 8 months ago, and it's random programs does not respond. And it doesn't matter if I have one program open or multiple programs open. Pretty often than not, it says does not respond. It'll the name of the program. Now,
what version is Windows?
Yeah, I have Windows. I'm running Vista. And it's an Acer machine, one of these compact desktops. It's about 4 years old.
Program does not respond, so it doesn't even open up.
Yeah, the screen kind of goes gray, and the pointer will just sit there and swirl the drain, and nothing happens.
Yeah, it's not that the program's not running; it's that it's slow.
Yeah, and the strange thing about it is when I first turn the machine on, the first program or two I try to go to is very laborious.
Yeah, that's what's going on. I think that's related. Hang on a bit. We're going to take a break, and maybe we can find an answer. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I love Microsoft's page on this. What happens? What does it mean when a program is not responding? By the way, it applies to Windows Vista. If a program is not responding, it means the program is interacting more slowly than usual with Windows, typically because a problem has occurred. If the problem is temporary, and if you choose to wait, some programs will start responding again. Depending on the options available, you can also choose to close or restart. But they don't tell you really what's going on. There's no fix for it. I think I can. Yeah, I think I can. I think we can narrow it down here. Just a second. I saw Exodus, God and Kings. I liked it.
I'm seeing Battle of Five Armies tonight.
Ooh, it opens on the 17th? I thought.
Yeah, it's
you're seeing
tonight. Tomorrow at the Boulevard 14. They're doing a marathon.
Oh, all of the Are they doing Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit?
No,
just all the Hobbits.
Yeah, but I did my own personal last night at home.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I have the Blu-rays. I could watch the.
Are you feeling hungry yet?
I'm not feeling hungry actually.
I'll ask you again in a little while.
Yeah.
Gail?
Yeah. Was Lisa here and then left?
She was out talking in front of Reed. Let me see if she's still out there.
Yeah. It was better than the Charlton Heston version. It only got, what's that? You got a little keychain. Did somebody send you that?
Becky did. Is she here today?
Oh, Mike's still there.
Mike, oh my God. Whew, snuck up on us.
Thanks, Mike.
I didn't want to hang up on you. So
No, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope we send some traffic your way. That's terrible.
Great, yeah.
You should have tons of people in front.
I had a dozen cars last night.
That sucks. Everybody go to Sherman Oaks right now.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
All right, Mike.
Take
Thank you.
it easy.
Take care.
Thanks,
Bye-bye. No, I kind of liked it, God and Kings. I mean, I want to see Egypt because I've been to Egypt. I've seen the the after. I wanted to see the before pictures. And the CGI was quite good. But yeah, 26% on Rotten Tomatoes, about as bad as you can get. That's a big fat splat. But I didn't think it was that bad. I knew what I was getting to. It's a biblical epic. It's just, it's just like Charlton Heston. Although God in this is a little boy, which I thought was kind of interesting. It's Ridley Scott, so I like him. It's the Ten Commandments updated with modern CGI effects, basically. And John Turturro as Pharaoh, which is wild. Just a wild, weird thing. Just very strange. And he had good Moses hair. It's very much like an updated Charlton Heston version with Christian Bale as Charlton Heston. Very, very similar. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo. We're talking with Dale in Brooksville, Florida. He's getting a lot of program not responding messages. I was just showing during the break, I was just showing the chat room the Microsoft page. What does it mean when a program is not responding? Applies to Windows Vista. And all Microsoft says is, maybe a problem occurred in the program. I think here's what's going on. Almost certain of it, Dale. Hard drive's starting to wear out. And,
All right.
and what happens is when a hard drive starts to get bad sectors, or sectors that are maybe not completely bad but just hard to read, the system spends a lot of time trying to load that data in, and that just slows everything down. And as it's doing that, the program is not responsive. Does the program become responsive later?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes when I don't get frustrated to the point to shut it
Yeah,
down.
most of the time you just go, and you just close it.
Yeah.
I would bet money on the fact that it's probably a hard drive. Now, there's
In other words, go ahead.
It's 4 years old. There's a couple of things you can do. You could replace it. You could perhaps refresh it. But nowadays, it's so cheap to get a new hard drive. That's probably what I would do.
Just replace the hard drive. All right. What I've already done is I've already bought another Acer computer with, Windows 8.1 and a couple other add-ons. I just haven't got it loaded with the software I wanted yet. But I wanted to put this computer in another room probably. So in other words, just replace the hard drive and hope for the best.
Yeah, everybody in the chat room's yelling. They're wrong, but they're yelling, how much RAM does he have? How much RAM do you have?
4 gigs.
Yeah, you're fine.
4 gigs.
That's not the RAM, and that's not what you would see if you were low on RAM. This is a hard drive, almost certainly a hard drive that's starting to flake out. You could easily replace the hard drive. Uncle Bix in our chat room says that he does something for a lot of his clients that seem to make a big difference. He replaces the hard drive with a solid-state hard drive. They're getting less and less expensive now.
Yes, okay.
Now, the issue on solid-state drives is that drive is going to be faster probably than the serial ATA connection, the SATA connection in your computer. But even if it is faster, it will still be faster than the spinning drive. Even if your bus speed isn't that fast. And I think nowadays it's not much more expensive to get an SSD. And you'll see faster boot times. You said the boot's slow. All of that will be improved. Yeah, and that's almost certainly the hard drive.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In other words, going through all that stuff about, I've been on, I Googled it, and I was about ready to spend a couple hours messing with the online fixes. But
no, don't do any of those. First of all, those are bad. Those online fixes they're not going to do anything. What could it do? This is a very common problem because hard drives, they're the one moving component in your whole system, right? The fan and the hard drive. And they wear out. And when they wear out, what more often than not happens is they get a little unreliable or hard to read. That is probably the #1 cause of slowdowns and problems, crashes, and so forth on PCs is just worn-out hard drives. It's a cheap thing to fix.
You convinced me of that. Can I stick in a little quick question on another topic?
Sure.
You're into cameras, right?
Oh, I am. Way too much for my own good.
I've had it for about a year now. A Canon 70D.
Lovely camera.
I like to use that for video at my church.
Yeah.
But I did a 4-minute video the other day, and I loaded it onto my my 27-inch Mac, and it's real choppy. Sounds real choppy. All the audio. Got any idea?
The audio is or the video is?
Both of them are.
Both of them are choppy.
And I think what I may have done, and I don't have any idea if this would have affected it, my recording speed, I had it set to my F was 160 rather than 60.
That's why.
Is that why it was just too high?
Yeah, the Mac can't keep up playing it.
Okay, in other words,
you could burn it to a DVD and it'd be fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not. There's nothing wrong with. Well, it's hard to say. My guess is there's nothing wrong with the video. Video is huge, right? And it's been the case with high def video that sometimes a computer just can't keep up. So when it can't keep up, what does it do? It gets choppy.
Choppy. All right. Let me just try to burn it and see what happens.
Yeah, burn it and see what happens. Then you'll know if the source video is bad or just the computer can't play it back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to you and all your staff.
Thank you. Very kind. I appreciate it. Frank in Pomona, Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Yeah, how you doing? My name is Chris. I'm from Boston. A voice over IP app.
I don't understand. I thought it was Frank in Pomona. He says he's Chris in Boston. Is it Chris or Frank? Do I have the name wrong?
Sounds like you're on an voice over IP.
I don't understand what's going on here. Paul in Oceanside, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Paul. I'm sorry. Now it's... This one's on me. Frank in Orange County. You're next. Hi, Frank. Paul will be after that. Hi, Frank.
Hi, Leo. Thanks for taking the call. I got a question. I've got a Dell E520 machine with it's SATA, and it runs Windows 7. My son's got some PC games that only run off XP. I don't want to jump through the hoops of doing the XP mode and put it on that hard drive.
Yeah, and you have to have Pro to do that anyway.
Oh, okay.
So which you certainly don't with it.
No, so actually what I have is the Ultimate.
Yeah. You might an Ultimate. I can't remember. Anyway, all right. So you should first try running them in compatibility mode.
Okay. My thought was to get a second hard drive with just Windows XP on it and then put the game on that one.
Second hard drive, Windows XP on it. Yeah, you could boot to XP, sure.
Yeah. Now, how do I do that, though, if I have two hard drives?
You have a dual boot system.
Yes, sir.
So the way you could probably research this, because what you'll need is you got to be careful when you're installing the XP that it doesn't overwrite the Windows 7 boot. Oh. Usually what you want to do is do it in the reverse order. Install XP first and then install Windows 7. Windows 7 will see XP and say, oh, do you want to keep this copy? You say yes, and then when you boot, it'll give you a choice. What you could do is install XP. I would take the Windows 7 disk out when you do this, install XP on the drive, and then get a boot manager that will let you choose when you start up which one. That's not a bad way to do it, actually, because then you're going to have a pure XP machine and a pure Windows 7 machine. The only thing to be careful of is getting online with Windows XP, because as you know, Microsoft is no longer support.
No more support, and it's open to hackers and everything.
Well, so far we haven't seen... Well, I should take that back. We did just the other day, about last month, see the first serious vulnerability unpatched in Windows XP. And so, yeah, be careful. Don't get online with it.
Well, Leo, I've got a second hard drive that's already got XP on it. Can I just put both hard drives in the computer?
Yeah, you can. The trick, absolutely, that's not a problem. And the boot manager will then choose. The problem is you don't want to install XP while you've got Windows 7 on that same computer, because XP will overwrite the master boot record. Why don't you try? Well, yeah, we'll take a break and we'll talk more about this when we come back. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. It's never enough time. Hey, I think it's time to shave. I think it's time for Harry's. Harry's! We love Harry's. I hope you love Harry. You know what I'm talking about? Harry's has decided they're going to make shaving fun again by selling you great razors direct at a very, very nice price. If you go to the drugstore these days, the razor blades are locked up because they're so overpriced. It's like stealing jewels. I'm not paying $4 a blade for my Gillette Fusion. Not anymore, because I've got Harry's, and Harry's is fabulous. These guys decided they wanted to reinvent the whole concept of shaving. And by the way, for the holidays, they've got a limited edition Winston set, the Winter Winston set. It is beautiful. Let me show you. It's $30, but I'm going to tell you how you can save a little bit on that. Blue handle or charcoal handle. As with all of the Harry's kits, you get the handle. You can get it engraved if you want, which is nice. 3 blades. I actually love this blade cover. Makes it great for traveling. The incredible, you can either choose their shave cream or their shave gel. The blades they make in their own factory. They bought a factory in Germany to make the blades because they found out there were only 2 companies in the whole world, 2 factories in the whole world that make great blades. And so they bought the factory, eliminating the middleman, so there's no markups, no crazy vibrating handles, just the best blades, beautifully done. And then I get my Harry's shipped to me. Each month I get the new blades and new shave cream, and I love it. Harry's costs about half as much as the razor at the store, but they're even better. And they also have a new aftershave that's fabulous. As a special holiday offer, Harry's is giving all of our fans $5 off the limited edition Winston set, the winter set. I just really love it. There's my Harry's kit. And this is for existing customers as well as new customers. So if you want to give Harry's as a gift, if you're a Harry's user, you know what a great gift this is. Go to harrys.com, HARRYS.com, and use the offer code TechGuyHoliday to save $5, even if you're an existing customer. So it's great for gifts. We won't tell them you saved, even if you're already a loyal Harry's customer, as I am. I live for Harry's, and I think you'll love it too. HARRYS.com. Tech Guy Holiday to save $5 off your purchase. Free shipping too. 4 gigs of RAM is plenty for Vista. I know you're sure of it, Sue, but this is a hard drive problem. I guarantee it. Leo, it's RAM. I know it.
Powered by Precision Core. The Workhorse all-in-one printers are great for home office, small office, corporate.
Oh.
So exciting. It's a new printing technology that powers.
Yeah, tricky to put XP.
Industrial printers now available, very affordable.
I think a virtual machine would be the easiest way to do it. But he wants to play games, so really you want a full XP. You don't want to run it in a VM. And he could do the VM, and he even said, I don't want to set up the XP, on Windows 7. You can do that. So what you do, no, I understand. You don't want to install XP with the Windows 7 disk in there. You take out the Windows 7 disk, you put an empty disk in, you install XP on that machine as if that's it. Then you could put, in other words, you don't have to take the drive out, but disconnect it, the Windows 7 drive. Disconnect it. So put a second drive in, connect it up. It's going to be a SATA machine, so that's an easy thing to do. You'll have a second drive port. You just connect it up, and then install XP. You may have to make it the drive 0, and then hook the 7 back up. And you need a boot manager, because what you need to do is you need something that will run on the master boot record and say, you have 2 things on here. Which one do you want to start today? For years I used GAG. I don't know if this is still the boot manager to use. The nice thing about this boot manager, GAG, is... let me see if they've been keeping it up to date. Yeah, I don't think they have. Should still work. The nice thing about it is you put it on a drive. It automatically detects the other operating systems. Is there a better easy BCD boot manager? I don't know that one. I don't know what's most up to date. Take control of your bootloader. Yeah, this is not free. GAG is free, but at least this is modern. Yeah, this is probably a good way to go. It's 30. Oh, non-commercial. It's free. Good, that's good. So if you're not, there you go. So this is from neosmart.net. Let's put this in the show notes.
So what, 9-10 days till Christmas? Call in with your...
I know exactly how many days till Christmas because I have...
an advent calendar.
I wish I did. I forgot to do advent. You got to do them December 1st or it doesn't matter. And I forgot to do I wanted to do the Lego. You could. You could. I wanted to do the Lego Advent Calendar. I have a Santa tracker that shows you exactly how many days. This is from Google. 9 days, 13 hours, 54 minutes, and 14 seconds to Santa.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I needed to tell you about was how crazy getting home was yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Why?
Because it was SantaCon. I threw something up on Twitter or Facebook.
SantaCon. Somebody was going to SantaCon.
It is nuts. So all the young marina kids have co-opted the entire thing. So it's less edgy, shall we say. Not judging, just saying. And so all the bars on Broadway, on either side of the Broadway tunnel, just had throngs of people in Santa and elf and reindeer costumes out front of them.
That's so funny. It's a bar. It's a pub crawl, right?
Basically, yeah. And then everyone was protesting, of course, by the Civic Center, etc.
Oh, they had the protests too. That's right.
There was no way to get anywhere in San Francisco.
It wasn't critical mass also, was it?
No, those are on Fridays. But it was nuts. But at least it was visually, captivating if I had to be sitting there in traffic.
Well, but don't people just put hats on? Put Santa hats on? I mean, do they really get into it?
They kind of do. That's to your point, though. You wouldn't believe how cheap Santa costumes have gotten. Just total horrible pajama, not flammable, just flimsy things that people throw on over their regular clothes. And I have to give credit to there was a girl walking around with like a little furry vest and like reindeer antlers. So she was so cute. Like she took the idea and said, "I'm going over here."
Yeah, she went Christmassy.
And then it's just so weird because everybody's looking at their phones and trying to call an Uber or whatever, and they're drunk. And I saw an elf making out with a Santa Claus in the Embarcadero. Now, this was later at night, Man,
I'm glad we live in a small town. These things don't happen here. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk computers, the internet, cell phones, home theater, digital photography too. Our digital photographic guru coming up, Chris Marquardt, in about half an hour. Talk about, I think we're going to do a review, an assignment review. So we were talking in the chat room about our last call of the last hour. He wants to dual boot Windows 7 and Windows XP. And you can look up dual boot, and if you're putting them on separate drives, that's pretty easy. But you do need a boot manager, and there's an old one that I used to use, but I see that it hasn't been updated in 6 years. That's probably not the one to recommend. So I'm going to recommend from neosmart.net something called EasyBCD. It allows you to boot a variety of different operating systems on a single PC. I do that actually on my Macintosh because I have an older Mac Pro, not one of the new Mac Pros, but I probably like a 2010 Mac Pro now, right? Or 2009. And I put Windows on one drive and Macintosh OS on the other. And it's for gaming. It's actually quite a good little gaming system. And so when we want to play games, we boot up into Windows. And it's a simple thing to do. And when we want to go on the Mac, make it a Mac, we make it a Mac again. So not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. 8888 ask Leo. So I hope that helps, Frank. Just put a second hard drive in there. Do read up on making a dual boot. It's a little tricky. I don't think you'll have too much difficulty. But Paul in Oceanside, California. Now it's your turn. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Good. Leo, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Paul?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Thanks for
Leo,
calling.
I bought a Epson Workforce 3640, and, I cannot get this thing to work for anything. And I, looked at the reviews on Amazon, and they're clicked on their 1 star, and you got a ton of people having the same problem. So what should I do? Because I'm ready to take this thing back. It's my second one.
I love my Epson Workforce. You have a 20?
No, 3640.
3640. When you say you can't get it to work, what do you mean?
Well, you can see the ink levels, but it won't print anything. You click on, the print or whatever you want to print, but it won't do anything. It just sits there.
How do you have it connected? Are you using Wi-Fi or is it direct connected?
Direct USB.
And you've installed a driver in Windows, right?
Correct. I've done all that. I mean, I went on to Epson website, and clicked on their updates and everything. I've even called their customer service number, and they sent me to the Philippines, and it's like almost 2 hours on the phone with them guys. Finally, they got mad at me, and they hung up on me. So what do I do?
I'm mad at you?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, it's not my fault. It's not working.
Well, you know, this printer was an editor's choice from PC Magazine, so I know that it works.
I like it, but
I know that it works.
Yeah, I can't get it to do anything.
I'm not sure exactly what's wrong on your end. There's a couple of possibilities. There may be a broken printer.
No, this is the second printer, and it's doing the same thing. The first one, I took it back to Staples. This is the second one.
Well, I mean, there's no way for me to fix it for you, obviously.
Right.
I'm sitting here a little ways away. You installed the driver before you plugged in the printer, right?
Correct. I did everything the way it's set to do.
Yeah, and I don't know what exactly could be wrong. You try another USB port. I mean, I think it's your computer would be my guess.
Well,
do you have Wi-Fi in there?
I don't have Wi-Fi,
okay.
But I did try a different USB port because that's what the guy in the Philippines told me. Try a different USB port, and I did that and everything. But like I say, you click on the ink levels and everything shows up.
No, it's
ready to print.
Something's wrong on your which version of Windows are you using?
I have Windows 7 Professional, or what is it, Ultimate?
Yeah, something's wrong with the setup on the PC. Be my guess. It's not the ink levels or anything like that. When you print something, first of all, can you print a test page from the printer? Have you tried that?
Can't even do that. I mean, try that.
But not from your computer, but using the printer's front panel.
That I haven't tried.
So that's the first thing, to see if the printer can print.
Uh-huh.
So if you look in your printer manual, you'll be able to do an internal diagnostic test print that will tell you, show you how it's aligned and all that stuff. And it comes from the printer. Now, if that all works, I hear sounds. If that all works, then the printer is printing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's not the ink level or anything like that. It's something to do with your connection to the computer, whether it's the cable, the USB port, Windows 7 itself not working quite right. Do you have a laptop or another computer?
I do, uh-huh.
Maybe try printing from the laptop to see if that works?
No, because, I have to throw in the disk, and I got to, because I don't have Wi-Fi, so I got to hook it all up to the to the router and everything. So, but to update the software.
Yeah, but that would be one way to know if it's that computer or if it's something more general than that. For instance, if you had a bad USB port.
Yeah, because like I say, you look on Amazon, and click on their 1 star. I mean, everybody's just upset, So.
No, this printer is a good printer. It works fine.
Yeah. And
I don't know what those reviews on Amazon refer to. PC Magazine gave it an editor's choice, so it's not a bad printer.
Right.
Other people on Amazon are saying they can't get it to print?
Yes, uh-huh.
One thing you might do, go onto the Epson site on your computer and get the latest driver. Instead of using are you using the one that came on the disk?
I did that, and like you say, I went onto the Epson website, got the latest drivers and everything. Still not doing anything.
Yeah, I really don't have any help for you. If I could come over and look at it, maybe I could, but it's hard for me to, I wish I could. It'd be hard for me to fix something like that via remote control. All I can tell you is, the printer works. That particular model works. It got an Editor's Choice Award from PC Magazine. They were able to print with it. It's interesting that they have all these issues on Amazon. I wonder if there's something odd about it. Although I have to say, you look at almost any printer, there are going to be people who couldn't figure out how to get it to work. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's something wrong with the printer. My guess would be it's Windows and the printer driver in Windows. You might try printing with other programs. It's a tough one. You need to troubleshoot it. I'm sorry that they gave you such poor support. That's not right. You might next time at Staples say, can you see if this will print? Bring it back to them. Say, look, this is the second one. I can't get it to print, but in case it's my computer, can you try printing with this? See if they can print with it. It could be. It is possible you've got 2 bad printers in a row. That's, unlikely, but it does happen. I think somebody needs to come over and actually, is it the USB port? You've tried different ones, but maybe I don't know. Bring it to Staples and say, can you show me this printing? Because I don't believe it. I don't think it works. But start with the diagnostic in the printer itself. That's one of the reasons they put that there, to see if the printer's working. Jack in Middletown, Connecticut. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Jack.
Oh, hi, Leo. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. What can I do for you?
Well, first I have to thank you before I question you.
All right.
I have to thank your show for getting an original Chromebook CR48.
That's the old black one that they handed out at Google I/O 3 years ago.
Correct, and that's how I got to that show. And I think it was due to security now. I don't remember.
Oh, I'm glad you got it. Hey, hang on. We got to take a break. We'll have more in just a bit. Don't forget Chris Marquardt, our photo guy, coming up. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
I've told you before how much I love my Epson Workforce printers.
Oh.
Well, I've traded them all in. I have for the new.
And there you go. Yeah, printer problems are notoriously the most difficult to diagnose, and absolutely impossible for me to diagnose from remote. But I could tell you this is a great printer. I have the big brother of this, the Ford. I think it's the 4630, and I loves it. So I think it's not the printer. Let me look at the Amazon reviews, see what people are saying. It's a nice printer for that price. Worst printer I've ever bought. Will not work for any of our computers. I mean, I think any printer you look at, you're going to find people who can't figure out how to get it to work. Let's try. This is the one I have. Let's see what the reviews are here. This is a little fancier one. Yeah, 14 1-star. Had a terrible time. I can't get it to work. Worst printer ever. I think pretty much any printer you're going to find 1-star reviews. I don't think that's... But I again, I can't help him because I just can't fix it from over here. It's not even $199. The one he has is like just over $100. Yeah, I don't know. Did he remove all the packing tape? Maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of tape on that printer. It's like 8 pieces of tape. It's probably we should screen out calls for stuff like that because I just can't. There's no way I can help somebody like that. There's nothing to say. I mean, I can probably with almost some certainty say I will never be able to fix a printer problem. No. It's easy not to remove all the packing. And it could be that he's printed 100 times and he's got a print queue that's blocked by one bad print job at the beginning. And Leo Laporte, the tech guy. We were talking to Jack, Middletown, Connecticut. Hey, Jack, what can I do for you today?
Yes, sir. So we were talking about, I got a CR48 from the original Chromebook. However, I give it to my youngest daughter. I'm like 64 years old now, but she broke it because it had a hinge problem. So that's dead.
I'm sorry, but there are newer, better Chromebooks for $200 out there.
Right. I actually, Leo, have a more philosophical question.
Okay.
Right now I'm running a Surface RT.
A Surface RT.
Microsoft.
They don't even sell them anymore.
No, of course not. To me, it's a piece of junk. But
this was Microsoft's. There were two Surfaces. There's one running Windows, normal Windows, and then one running these a special ARM-based version of Windows. I think Nokia still sells a 2520, but Microsoft kind of. I think there's some evidence that they're not going to sell this anymore, but maybe not. We don't know.
I hope not. I guess my question is, what was Microsoft thinking?
No. This is a question people ask all the time, and no, there is no answer to what was Microsoft thinking. There is no answer to that.
I'm laughing because...
What was Microsoft thinking? I don't know.
I was really happy with my Chromebook.
Yeah.
And, it was not, a gaming rig or anything, but... And now I can't install any browsers.
No, RT is really designed, I think, to be a tablet operating system, kind of like the iPad. You can only install stuff that's available for it in the Windows Store.
Yep.
I feel like Microsoft and the new CEO Satya Nadella are asking, what were we thinking?
Well, then I'm on his side.
I was against it because I thought it was confusing to customers that they had 3 different operating systems that all looked exactly the same: Windows Phone, Windows RT, and Windows Pro. But you couldn't run software from one on the other. They were each unique. Now, they're moving in the direction where they'll really only have one operating system. RT is going to be, I believe, subsumed by Windows Phone. That the phone and RT, both of which run on ARM processors, the mobile processors, will kind of merge into one thing. And then there'll be the Intel Windows Pro, and that'll be the 2 operating systems. I think RT was an ill-conceived experiment, and it's failed. And you kind of nailed it there. You can't install other stuff on it. It doesn't run Windows software, even though it looks like and acts like Windows. It isn't really Windows. I, too, bought the Surface RT when it came out. It just it's its thing. It's a thing all on its own. It kind of is. It feels a little bit like a cul-de-sac. Doesn't it? Like it was a dead end.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, sometimes companies do that. Unfortunately, we as consumers sometimes end up going down those dead ends.
Actually, I didn't buy it. It had a cracked screen, so I don't swipe anything on it. I just use a mouse.
Oh, that's even worse because the whole point of this was touch. I have to say, I've been a little critical of Microsoft over Windows 8 in general. And Microsoft is backing down on many of the things they did with Windows 8. The next version of Windows, which unaccountably will be Windows 10 and will come out sometime next year, is a lot more like Windows 7 in some ways than Windows 8. Very confusing. I think RT, and I wish there were, a way around this, but RT was a dead end. Microsoft took us there and left us there. And they drove off saying, it's up to you to find your way back. See ya! Richard in Grand Rapids, Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Yes.
Hi, Richard.
Well, good afternoon. What is it? Screensavers.
The screensaver. You see, I'm wearing a Tech TV shirt. Well, you can't see it. It's a radio.
Oh,
but
hey.
if you were seeing me, you would see I'm wearing a Tech TV shirt. It was
really?
1998 through 2004. Imagine this, a cable network devoted to geeks.
Oh, I'm telling you, I wish I fire the old Betamax up right now.
I wish I had some of those old shows. We tried to pry them out of. They're owned by Comcast, Universal, NBC now. And I tried to pry those old shows out of them, but I haven't had any success yet because I'd love to.
Oh, hey, they're just as valid today as they were.
Well, maybe not, but I'd love to air them again and maybe update them. Say, hey, wait a minute, before you go out and buy that Celeron, maybe you want to consider a newer processor. But it was fun.
Well, yeah, that's one reason I'm gone today. I had my last computer, I put it together, and it lasted 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought, wow, I don't owe me anything. So I bought another one, and I got thinking, I'm missing seeing something called mean time between failures. The design life. I don't see that on my...
Yeah, they used to publish that information. They do on hard drives still.
So do they? Okay.
Yeah, but you might have to look deep in the specs. Mean time between failures, by the way, is kind of a made-up number. So the idea is what is the average amount of time a hard drive will live? The mean time between failures. Even that. Now that I think about it, even that doesn't make a lot of sense. It's the average time before it dies is what it should be saying. But how do they figure that out? Because if a hard drive is expected to live for 10 years, you wouldn't know that for 10 years, and they want to sell you the hard drive today. So what do? They take 1,000 hard drives, and they run them till one of them dies, or two of them, or three of them. And then they figure out, well, based on that, we could expect this drive, most of these drives to last. It doesn't make it's a meaningless number. Don't worry about it. It's completely meaningless, and I'll tell you why. We've seen studies. Google's released some. Rackspace, companies that use a lot of hard drives have released studies, and it's always about the same. A certain percentage of hard drives will die within the first few months. They're just manufacturing issues or whatever. They're just going to die right away. Then most of your drives, like 98% of them, will last 2 years. Then they start dying at the rate of about, I think it was 4% per year. So most drives, if they last the first few months, will last 2 years. And then a certain percentage of them will die each year till they're all gone. That's really what you need to know. Don't worry about it. I'm amazed you got 11 years out of that computer. I wouldn't expect 11 years these days. Or ever. I don't think I would have expected 11 years ago. That's pretty impressive. Mean time between failure. What does that even mean? That's what they call it. They still quote those stats, and you can still find them, but I wouldn't pay any attention. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So they do, Truckee, they do have all of the digitized shows from Tech TV, I've been told. They have them in a storage unit somewhere. They were all put on hard drives, so it's not that many hard drives. And they live on, unused, unloved, probably haven't seen the light of day in years. And now that G4's gone, NBC Universal, at some point, some accountant somewhere will say, why are we renting this storage locker? And they'll dump it. And we're trying to get them to, and we're offering them money. We're saying we will give you a revenue share on the revenues from the advertising. What we want to do is we want to do the old screensavers shows, and then Patrick and I and Sarah, or whoever's around, would watch these shows, you and I together, all of us together, and we'd comment on them, we'd update them. We thought it would do quite well, and we've just not been. It's such a minor thing compared to all the exciting things that NBC Universal is doing these days. Our show today brought to you by my shoes. I told you the story about going to New Orleans, and I'm walking down the street. Guy says to me, would you give me $5 if I could tell you where you got them shoes? And Lisa says, keep moving. And I said, no, I want to hear. Lisa says, don't talk to them. I said, no, I got to find out how he would know where I got them shoes. He didn't say Jack Irwin. He said, you got them shoes on your feet. He earned his $5 that day. But I tell you, if I'm wearing these shoes, I tell you, people walk up to me. They don't say, you got them at Jack Irwin. These look like shoes you got at a fine men's store for $800, but you didn't. You got them from Jack Irwin for a third the price or less. Jack Irwin, they sell direct to you, so you get great prices. I love my Jack Irwin shoes. They're beautiful, handmade shoes made by the best cobblers in Spain out of the finest leather. From France or Italy. They're just gorgeous. Hand-sewn beautiful leather soles. And you're getting a price that is just amazing. Look at the Sullivan collection or the Foster collection or the Wright collection. Guys, people judge you by the shoes you wear. They really do. You want comfort, though. These are really nice. Look at these. I might get some of these driving loafers. How about that? I need driving loafers. It's bad for me to go to jackerwin.com because then I always, I want some of these. If you see something you like at Jack Irwin, though, I want you to pick them up because there's always new stuff there. Now, let me tell you a little bit about buying at Jack Irwin. You're going to they make them one size big, so subtract one full size from your normal shoe size. These are gorgeous. This is the Carter Wingtip Combat Boot. But this is not a combat boot like any other. Look at that. These are gorgeous shoes, and they are made beautifully. Every box comes with a special travel bag for you and extra insoles. I am a big fan. I love my Jack Irwins, and I know you will too. So for the guy in your life who needs to look better, or for you, if you've decided you want to upgrade your appearance for those special holiday parties, Jack Irwin, JACKERWIN, jackerwin.com. And if you want to see my holiday pics, go to jackerwin.com/TWIT. I love my Jack Irwin shoes. I really do. This is what being a grown-up is all about. Nice shoes. Oxfords, loafers, wingtips, dress boots. And I've got to get those driving shoes. Man, those look good. Smell good, too. Jack Irwin. They really do. That leather. Oh. jackerwin.com/twit. Give them a try today, will you? Leo Laporte, the tech guy. We hear the Kodachrome song. That means it's time once again for my good buddy, Chris Marquardt from DiscoverTheTopFloor.com. Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
In the brand new, what do you call it?
The Viewfinder Villa.
Viewfinder Villa. Where is it?
It's near Hanover. I'm still near Hanover. We moved to the other side of Hanover, but it's a beautiful house. It's big. It's very photography focused. We're just putting everything together. It's a bit of a construction site here right now. So there's boxes over there, and there's just. So
you're going to have it as your studio, but are you going to also? I don't know.
It'll be a place to learn photography.
It will be.
It's going to be a place to do workshops, and we have a dark room to do analog work. We have all sorts of digital stuff. We'll have good printers. So there's a place for photography in general, and people can come here and learn pretty much.
It's fantastic.
It is, yes, it is.
Now, we were going to do this last week. We had technical difficulties. I'm glad we could get you back on. 3 iPhone apps that you recommend.
Yes. Well, they are travel related. You know, I just returned from Ethiopia, and of course, I don't just shoot with a DSLR. I shoot with an iPhone, but it's not just iPhone apps. It's smartphone apps in general. And there are 3 apps that I keep using all the time. And one is, you've probably heard of it. It's called Diptyque. It's an app that is available on iOS, it's available on Android, and it's really it's made to put several pictures into one. So you can have like 2 pictures next to each other, or 3 or 5 in different arrangements. So if you have a bad connection, you can just send home one picture that includes a lot of different pictures. It's a very smart thing. The reason I love it when I travel is, and that's specific to iOS, you can use it as an iOS 8 extension. So if you are in your Photos app, you tap on something and you click Edit. Since iOS 8, you have this little circle with 3 dots in the left top, and there you can enable extensions. And if you use the Diptyque extension, what it'll do is it'll combine the photo with a map of where the photo was taken.
Oh,
and then you can send it out from there. That's very neat. So if you want to just show someone, hey, this is the Taj Mahal, and you want to show where this is on a map, this is how you would do it, like in 2 clicks. It's very, very cool.
Diptyque. Is it free?
Good question. I don't have the prices
but
here.
They have in-app purchases, so you can buy additional layouts and frames for 99 cents. But the basic app is free. Diptyque, Diptyque. Good choice. I like that. What
I
else?
like that a lot. The second one is a bit iOS specific, even though there are alternatives for Android, and it's Hyperlapse. Now you've heard of this, and it's free, and it's by Instagram, but it's not connected necessarily to Instagram. You shoot video with it, and it does a really good job in stabilizing the video. Now it'll offer you to speed up the videos. You get like a pan of something at a higher speed. What I typically use it for is I switch it back to one speed, to just original speed. So I just use it for its stabilization. And when I was in Ethiopia, we were off-roading in a car, and I was holding the camera out of the window, shooting a video with hyperlapse, and it came out rock solid. So I have several videos that are super stabilized. And it's pretty much self-explanatory. It's super easy. It's just like one button operation. There is something like that. It's called Hyper Time Lapse on Android. And by the way, there's a secret shortcut in Hyperlapse on iOS. If you quadruple tap on the screen with 4 fingers at the same time, you get into a secret menu that will actually give you like a choice of higher resolution and some better options. So that's the second travel-related thing that I keep using when I shoot some of the video that I do. I know
if you look at my Google Plus profile, I put a hyperlapse of one of those London double-decker bus rides through central London, and it really was
so stable.
It's so stable and beautiful. I mean, this was a bouncy ride. We're on the top deck of a bus, but boy, it came out beautifully. It's one of my favorite travel things I've ever done. So yes, highly recommend hyperlapse. And I don't think there's anything on Android as good, frankly. I wish there were.
Well, the hyper time lapse gets close, but not quite, I think. The third one is really travel related, and I use this on most of my trips now, and it's a pretty simple one. You know how you can send home an email saying, "Hey, it was nice" and everything, but how would you like to send home a postcard, like a physical postcard with a photo that you shot on vacation? So there's an app called PhotoCard by Bill Atkinson.
Oh,
and
yeah.
What they do is
the original Mac gurus. He created Mac Paint.
Absolutely, and he has this little business where he prints your card. You have an iPhone app, you put it in there. I don't think I couldn't find an Android equivalent, but you can choose some of his great photos. But you can also put your own photos in there, and then you send it off, and takes them a couple of days to print it and send it out via first-class mail. And you can buy credits.
This is a good idea.
The app itself is free, but then you buy credits to send out those photos. And it's just the surprise in people's faces, and they love when you send them like a shot that you took on vacation. And a real postcard is something very special nowadays.
And the best thing is you don't have to buy a stamp. You can even put a message on the back. I love that.
It's wonderful.
How much per card is it?
Well, he has a credit system.
So you have to buy some credits and all of that.
You buy some credits, but it's really affordable.
They say it's as little as $1.50 on the.
Yes, pretty much, yes.
So that includes the postage, and if you're sending it outside the U.S., $2.25.
And if we still have a minute, I have a fourth bonus app for you.
Bonus app, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead.
It's called the Photographer's Ephemeris. Just to bring this back to photography, the Photographer's Ephemeris, TPE, and it's available on iOS and on Android. It tells you, if you're a hardcore photographer, you want to know when the sun comes up from which angle so you get the right side of the building lit and things like that, the Photographer's Ephemeris is going to tell you that. It's an app you have to buy. I think there's a cost for this, and it's not even cheap. But
$9.
I think, so it's actually, for an iPhone app, it's really expensive, but it really gives you all that information. If you want to know what side of the Golden Gate Bridge you have to be to get that shot where it's all red glowing in the morning, that's the app that you want to use.
So if you're doing a lot of outdoor photography and you want to capture that special natural light, this will tell you what the light's going to be like at a given time of day and a given date. It's an almanac.
And there's way more information in there. That's just one of the things it does.
That's
but
neat.
I know that lots of photographers use that, especially if you shoot outdoors and you want to use the natural light. And if you want to use the good light around sunrise and sunset and moonrise and that kind of stuff.
Neato. We'll put a link to all of these apps into our show notes at techguylabs.com. Are we still working? I guess we're still working the assignment.
The assignment is still up. Oh, what was it? See,
I stumped you already.
Ethiopia just erased my mind.
If you go to our tech guy group at Flickr.com, and by the way, you do need to have a Flickr account to participate.
It's fall. The assignment is fall.
You will see the assignment. It's fall. Thanks to Renee Silverman for writing these things down. And so you take a picture that illustrates the word or the idea of fall. We're getting some nice ones. And you can submit those, and then probably the next week or so.
Next week we're going to review that.
We'll review those, so we'll pick 3 of the best and talk about them on the Tech Guy Show. With this guy, Chris Marquardt, our photo guru. It's always great to have you, Chris. Visit discoverthetopfloor.com. That's his website. If you want to know about his workshops, he also has a great Lightroom class available. Is it all linked to Discover the Top Floor? Can you just go there?
Yeah, you go to Discover the Top Floor, and that'll link to everything I do.
Thank you, Chris.
Absolutely.
And congratulations on, what is it again?
The Viewfinder Villa.
Viewfinder.
The Viewfinder Villa.
The Viewfinder Villa. What is that in German?
Oh, I'll tell you next time.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Thanks, Chris.
Because it's such a long word.
Viewfinder Villa. Huh?
It's the Viewfinder Villa.
Viewfinder Villa.
No, it's not.
The Viewfinder Villa.
The view. No, well, actually, Viewfinder. There is a German word. It's Sucher.
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 But you're really doing this in English.
Exciting.
It's not. Yeah.
I'm doing it in English because it's such a nice alliteration, you know.
I like
Viewfinder
it.
Villa.
Yeah.
I searched for things with great letters and sounds and things, and that's the thing we came up with.
Awesome. Well, we fixed the Skype. It really worked. In fact, it's working really well. It really looks good. So
I actually started a website, viewfindervilla.com. There's not much there, but a logo right now. But there will be content over the next few weeks, hopefully early.
Are you near the Rhine or the Main or the Danube?
Well, near in Germany. Germany is small, so
we're going through Germany in July on a river cruise.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So, actually,
is it a Rhine River cruise?
Yeah, Rhine to the Main to the Danube.
Oh wow,
we're going
that's
from
beautiful.
Amsterdam to Budapest.
I did that once. I taught photography on one of those, and they ended up calling it an ABC cruise, another bloody castle.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm looking for.
You get lots of castles. You get lots of medieval German cities and things.
That's what I want. We're going to be in Nuremberg. We're going to Cologne. I love the
Going
Cologne
to Heidelberg.
Cathedral. I think it goes to Heidelberg. What's the nearest? Let me see if I can find. It is the what is the name of it? It is
well, do you go to Cologne?
Yeah, it's the first stop is in Cologne.
Cologne is beautiful.
Yeah, I've been to the cathedral as a kid, so I'm looking forward to going back to that. But we'll figure out if we're going to be close enough. We could get together.
Oh, I would totally love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to see the Viewfinder Villa actually.
Well, it's pretty far from the rivers here, so
all right.
It would be several hours of a drive. It wouldn't work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but if you send me your itinerary, I can see if we can make something work here.
I'm looking through it right now to see if I can find it. Well, you'd think. Oh, I know where I put it. Where did I put it? Did I put it in Evernote? I think I put it in Evernote.
Is that with Neil?
No, I don't do those. It's too much work.
Yeah.
And I realized I can afford to pay for my own damn vacation. I don't have to mooch off of Neil and have to work the whole time. Performing a required migration. Oh, man. Thank you, Evernote. I'm apparently doing a migration. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Anyway, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And
well, if you give me your itinerary, send it in an email or something. I'll see if anything is near enough to.
We are going to Cologne. We are
when
going
is it?
to. It is in July. First 2 weeks of July. Cologne, then Rudesheim, Heidelberg, Miltenberg, Würzburg. Bamberg, Nuremberg.
You know what Berg stands for? You know what Berg stands for?
City.
Castle.
Castle? Oh, crap.
Berg is a castle.
Oh, crap.
A medieval castle.
Regensburg, Passau.
You'll have so many castles. You'll be so fed up with
It's the castle tour. It's the castle tour. The Wachau Valley and Weissenkirchen. And then
Weissenkirchen.
Kirchen means church, right? And then Vienna, and then Budapest.
Oh,
it's 2 weeks of castles nonstop. Nonstop. So is any of those nearby? Anything you are? Miltenberg, Würzburg, Bamberg, Nuremberg.
Not quite. Cologne is probably the closest.
Cologne's the closest.
Actually.
That's like the first one.
Yeah, Hanover, Cologne. That would be like I don't even know, 2-3 hour drive. So nothing's really close.
I got to run. Thank you, Chris.
Sure.
Take care. Bye-bye. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number. We're going to get back to the calls here. And Willie's next from Florence, Colorado. Hi, Willie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an older fellow, and I just got a smartphone.
Awesome. How do you like it?
Well, I really don't like it yet. It's too damn big.
Which one did you get?
An LG Vista.
Okay. Too big, huh?
Well, yeah. You can't carry it around in your shirt pocket without it being, sticking out.
Well, that's no good. Yeah. You should get a littler one.
Yeah, well,
you don't have to. They don't have. It's also weird because they're like big slabs of glass. They don't curve around your head, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a pretty big phone, 5.7 inches. That's ginormous. You can get a smaller phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know this when I ordered it.
That's a nice phone.
Yeah. At any rate, I'm considering carrying it in a wallet that you put inside of a sports jacket pocket, a vest pocket.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if the signal that goes to the cell phone would cause the credit cards that's in the wallet next to the phone to demagnetize.
Oh, that's a good question.
And or would the magnetic strip on the credit cards interfere with an incoming call to signal the phone to ring?
In both cases, no. And I know that from personal experience because I have had a little pouch on my phone that holds my credit cards and my driver's license, and neither has been affected, neither the phone's reception or the mag strip. So you're going to be okay. You can do that. You can. In fact, there's quite a few cases that double as wallets. So unless they've put a magnet in that phone, there are some devices like an iPad that have some magnets in them, but that phone does not.
Yeah.
So you're okay. You're good.
All right. Thank you.
Enjoy your giant phone. 5.7 inches is one of the larger phones on the market. Of course, I'm the one carrying the 6-inch phone around, so the Nexus 6. Marco in Chatsworth, California, used to be where all the hard drives were made.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
I'm well, Marco. How are you?
Pretty good. Long live screensavers.
Thank you.
So my question is, I'm looking to buying a new TV.
Good.
And it's between the HU9000 Samsung or the LG OLED.
Wow. How much is the OLED?
It's like $4,000.
Oh, well, so is the HU9000.
Well, I've seen the 55-inch 9000 for around $3,000.
Oh, okay. So yeah, because they make big ones too, like the 78-inch 9000. All right. So you're going to get the 55-inch.
Correct.
Yeah. So Samsung makes this is an Ultra HD TV, 4K. Is the LG a 4K as well?
No, it's 1080p.
Yeah, that's fine. The picture is going to be better on the LG.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. OLED is amazing. I have a Samsung OLED at home, and it is the nicest picture you'll see, at least with any screens that are sold today.
Okay.
And the other thing is, you might say, well, I want to future-proof by buying a 4K TV because I know Ultra HD is the next big thing, and that's, of course, what these HU TVs are. But the problem with that is the 4K standard hasn't been defined yet, and it's very likely that there'll be stuff your current TV, the TV that you buy today, won't do. For instance, the color reproduction might be off, things like that. It won't look bad necessarily, but it won't look as good as it can be. Our recommendation right now is to hold off on buying a UHD TV until the standards for UHD are set.
Oh, okay, I see. That makes sense.
So in that case, there's no reason to buy a 4K right now. There's no 4K content anyway. So I would say you're going to get a much better picture on the OLED if you're willing to spend the extra money, because it's $1,000 more for the same size. But you're going to get the best blacks out there, and that's what we look at is how much detail, how black the blacks are, how much details in the blacks, how white the whites are, and OLED is the new standard. Those prices will fall on OLED TVs over the next few years. Just as plasma did when it first came out. Plasma was so expensive, and then it got less and less expensive. Then it disappeared, unfortunately. And so now we have a choice really pretty much between LCD and OLED. You may say, oh, these LED TVs, those are still LCD. It's just the LED on those TVs is just the backlight is LED. Almost all of them are LED now. So all LCDs are LEDs. OLED is not the same thing. Okay?
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Leo.
Hey, enjoy your new TV. I think you're going to like it an awful lot. Kurt La Habra, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Kurt.
Hello. My grandson is looking for a PS4, and he found the website, buyforsalecheap.com, which had a system that was too good to be true. Well, it was a great system, but then when we finally looked down to how you pay for it, is when we started to get suspicious.
How do you pay for it?
You can pay for it by Western Union, MoneyGram, or any bank, whatever.
Yeah, why don't they take credit cards, do you think?
Yeah, that's.
You know why they don't take credit cards? My guess?
Yeah.
Well, there are two reasons. Of course, the suspicious among us, and that's you and me, would say because if you don't like something and you buy it by a credit card, you just reverse the charges and you say, I don't like it, and here, have it back. The other reason might be that there is an expense to charging with credit cards, and they may say, look, and the way we keep these prices down is by eliminating credit card fees. Let me ask the chat room, have you used, I'd be very careful, I don't know this for this site, Buy for Sale Cheap, but when you see iPads going well below Apple's prices, that's suspicious. Because Apple controls the channel very tightly, and they never let certified retailers sell much below their list price. So that means either they're selling used or refurbished. They may not be brand new. I'd be suspicious. I think you're right to be suspicious. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. What is the price? I'm just curious on the PS4. Let's go look. With the holidays almost here, you don't have time. The PlayStation 4 is what, $399? List? Oh, well, that's not good. I guess they're not running on Squarespace. Did we bring the site down? Everybody went there? Well, let's see. Wait a minute now. Scam.org. Yeah. This doesn't sound good. It's in China. A lot of watch out. Huh. I don't know. It's always a good idea to go online and just see what people are saying. A lot of complaints. Yeah, you're not. It's going to be very hard to get a refund if you don't use a credit card. So if you do get ripped off, but I've gotten ripped off on eBay. It's careful. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. It's time to talk computers, the internet, home theater, digital photography. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the phone number. If it's got a chip in it, I will talk about it. I may not be able to help you. There's only so much I can do from my distant perch, but I'll do the best I can. 888-827-5536. If you're so inclined, you can go to the website, techguylabs.com, and that's got everything we talk about there. Is it techguylabs.com? Do you have Comcast, Heather Hammond, Phone Ranger? No, you're lucky. Consider yourself lucky. Every time I deal with them, I go, why am I still a customer of theirs? And then I realize, because they have a monopoly. Oh, that's right. So I actually really thought it was quite good. The new X1 boxes that they're selling, which are smart set-top boxes. You have one DVR in the house, but any TV with an X1 box can see the material. So you DVR it in one spot, but everywhere it's available. All sorts of nice ideas anyway, nice features. But it's not working right. The on-demand's not working, and I pay for it, but it's not working. And I spent literally an hour last night chatting with a Comcast rep. She had me do things like I had to turn on every TV, go around the house, turn on every TV and tune it to, she said, a regular channel. Okay, I don't know what that is, but anyway. So I tuned to channel 4. That's a regular channel, isn't it? If it's not, I don't know what a regular channel is. And then she said, okay, now how's it working? No. We did like 8 things. It must have been an hour and a half. Finally, she said, I don't know what's wrong. I can't fix it for you. And now I know how you feel when you call the tech guy. And, in a way, I have a monopoly too, don't I? 8888 Ask Leo. But they're all terrible. The mobile companies, the phone companies, the cable companies, they all have that monopoly mentality where, hey, we don't have to make you happy. You're stuck with us. So we're just going to, mess with you. I feel like they're messing with me. And then you get, and I bet you does this happen to you? You get Stockholm syndrome or something where you're just so browbeat by them that you take whatever they give you because it's like, I can't go through this anymore. I can't call a rep. I'm just going to live with it. Whatever is broken, I'm going to live with it. For instance, I need to turn off the internet because we're getting internet from Comcast Business Class. And foolish me, I thought if I upgrade my internet to the business class, they'll turn off the home internet because I don't need 2. No, that's a separate division. You got to call. I got to what? You got to call. I got to talk to a rep? Yeah. I don't want to. Don't make me. You can't make me. So I'm just going to pay for 2 internets because it's less painful than actually calling and getting them to turn it off. And by the way, here's another fun fact. When you call Comcast, the first thing they say is, I'm going to help you with your problem. It's like talking to Kanye. I'm going to let you talk, but first, let me just see if I can save you money on your Comcast bill, which usually means, in fact, not saving you money, but how can I get you to spend more with home phone, home security, home whatever. I'm going to save you money on your bill by making it $100 more a month. And then I'll help you with your problem. Unbelievable. 8888 Ask Lee. I'm sorry, I'm just venting. I shouldn't vent on the show. That's not what I'm not here to vent. This is not about me. It's about you, Kelly in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, what's up, Leo? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Not bad. Got a quick question for you.
Yes.
Very important.
Yes.
I have a new. I had an old phone. It was a Casio Brigade. It would hold a charge for a week.
It was a Casio. I didn't even know Casio still made phones.
Absolutely. You couldn't wear it on your wrist, but I'm telling you, I hung on to that phone.
Yeah.
Casio Brigade was the greatest phone ever created.
Well, it wasn't what we call a smartphone. It was a feature phone. And
it was kind of a feature phone, but the best feature was you could call and text people on it. You could use it to speak to others. That was a great feature of the phone.
Wow. It had phone calling on the phone?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
I'm sure it had other features, but that's mainly what I used it for.
You're a wild man.
Yeah. I'm in the military.
Okay.
And, the phone was old. It had some issues with the keyboard because I'd held on to it forever. But I held on to it for so long because, it's got pictures of my family on there.
Yeah.
That I've taken over the years.
Yeah.
It held a charge for a week. So when I'm out in the middle of the woods doing survival training or infantry training or whatever it may be, I could turn that phone on at night and call my wife, my kids, and tell them good night.
It would actually work, and it could get wet.
It would.
You could drop it in a bucket of water.
Casio Brigade, I'm telling you.
Bulletproof. Yeah.
It was a great phone. I still have it in a drawer, and I can't throw it away. But I have a new phone.
Yes.
It is a smartphone, Samsung Galaxy S5.
Does it make phone calls?
It does. It will, if you know which buttons to push.
If you can figure out how. Okay.
Right. So when I went to upgrade my phone, of course, all they have are smartphones.
They won't sell. You have to. Who's your carrier? Who's your mobile company?
The big V, Verizon.
Verizon. So they will sell you. They don't want to, but they can sell you a dumb phone.
Sure, I could get on the internet and I could get another Casio Brigade.
You probably could.
Brand new.
You know what? You're making me want one. This is a nice looking phone. It's got a full size keyboard and everything.
It looks like the old Vietnam era walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. And every time I ever pulled out the phone, people stopped what they were doing. The cashier at the gas station, whoever, they stopped what they were doing and they said, "Wow, that is a great phone."
It's a classic.
It is a classic. It was, I used to have my very first smartphone was I think it was an LG Titan, and it weighed about 5 pounds. It was one of the first smartphones that ever came out. Stylish, It was great, but the problem that I've got is my new smartphone that I had to upgrade to because Verizon couldn't get me another phone was, it's a great phone, but it doesn't hold the charge. So now when I'm out somewhere,
how long do you get?
If I turn it off.
Well, if you turn it off, it goes forever. But I mean, just if in normal use, without actually turning it off, you get a day.
I could probably go a couple of days with it. Depending on what I do with it.
Yeah, that's completely normal. That's the big difference between these feature phones like the Casio and the smartphones. You're lucky to get a day on any smartphone.
Yeah.
That's normal.
It's decent as far as the battery goes, but when you're talking about being in the woods or somewhere for a week,
not going to work.
I'm there with no.
So here's one thing you can do, and one reason that you actually made a good choice on that phone is it's one of the few smartphones that you can take out the battery, and you can get extra batteries for that.
Right.
So what I do whenever I get a Samsung Galaxy phone, I have the Galaxy Note 4, is I'll buy a couple extra batteries. They're not expensive, about $20 each, and a charger. And I will. So you're going to be in the woods a week. Charge up. Bring 5 batteries with you. And when the phone dies, you put a new battery in, and you get another whole charge.
Okay.
That's the least expensive and easiest way to do it. They do make bigger, battery units that you can charge up. I have one from Anker that'll charge a Samsung Galaxy S5 maybe 4 times. So, and there are even solar things, although the solar things I don't think are that useful. But what you need is an extra battery or 2. And by the way, thank you for your service, Kelly. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. This is a nice phone. I might buy me one of these. Look at this thing. This looks like one of those Danger sidekicks or something like that.
Here at the Tech Guy Labs, we do everything in the cloud.
And it's kind of it's very much like a Sidekick. It's more than a dumb phone because it does have browsing. It does have you can play music on it. You can take pictures with it. But it's not really a smartphone. It's a feature phone. This is what smartphones looked like, or feature. This is what top line cell phones looked like, in 2006. So let me just I'll show you, and this is what I did whenever, and it's one of the best reasons to get a Galaxy phone. So S5 battery. You want to get an external charger too, because you don't want to have to charge it in the phone. But Samsung sells them. Here's a spare battery with the little charger, $37. And this is a Samsung, so I mean you want to get the brand. I know if you're getting 2 days on a battery, you're doing great. You're doing great. And then you could get a few of those, or you could get one of these Anchor devices. That's what I use for things like iPhones that don't have removable batteries. You get an external battery. Here's one. Oh, that's interesting. So Anchor makes a battery case. This is like the Mophie case for the iPhone, for the S5. It's 7,500 milliamp hours, so that's almost 3 times the normal S5. So this would probably get you through a week. That's kind of nice. Let's put that in the show notes too, the extended battery combo for the S5. Now this makes it a big thing, but it's still smaller than your Casio probably. So it makes it a little bit thicker. It's about 1 inch thick. Oh, man, that's crazy. Or you could get one of these external battery cases, and you don't have to carry it around. Jackery and Anchor and others make these. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. If you want to talk high tech, I'd love to talk high tech with you. It's the battery shock. It's always what happens that when you move, and everybody knows this, when you move from a feature phone and you're getting a week, with between charges, and you move to a smartphone, and all of a sudden it's like, you're dead already? I'm just starting here. That's why when they quote battery life on a smartphone, it's meaningless, because it's how you use it, and everybody uses it differently. The sites that review these things have and everyone has a different test, so you can't even go from site to site. You have to get one site to review all of them. So, for instance, one of my favorite sites, I can't remember which one, they set the screen brightness to medium. That's a big deal, by the way. The brighter the screen, the more juice it uses, right? Screen is the battery killer. Those big glass, beautiful screens, they take a lot of battery. So they set the screen to medium brightness, right in the middle, and then they just continuously run YouTube videos until it dies. And on the best phones out there with the best battery life, we're talking 4 or 5 hours. That's it. That means you get up in the morning, and before lunch, the thing's out of juice. But nobody runs videos all the time. Everybody has a different use case. If you use the screen a lot, you're looking at the screen a lot, it's going to die faster than if you just use the phone or occasionally check something quickly. So everybody's got a different use case. My general kind of expectation, in fact, the thing I demand is that the way I use a phone, which I think is fairly normal, I just needed to get through the day. I take it off the charger 7 in the morning, and I get back in bed at 10 at night or 11 at night. It should be able to survive that. That's 16 hours. I'm not asking a lot. Most of the smartphones in the market today will not do it. Most of them can't go 16 hours. There's a few. The Sony Xperia Z3 can go 16 hours in kind of normal use. The OnePlus One could go about 20 hours. In my use, about 20 hours. I like it when a phone can go 20 hours because then I know it's going to get 16 even if I use it heavily that day. The iPhone 6 Plus, the big one, it depends how you use it. It's not great. Droid Turbo, you know, the Droid Max, these are phones with giant batteries. They're actually thick, heavy phones because it's all battery. The problem is the Droid Turbo, they put in a nice big battery, but then they said, well, since we've got this giant battery, let's put a ridiculously high-resolution screen on there, which kills the battery. So it's back to, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. So it's unusual. It really is unusual for a phone to get through the day all day. So pretty typically people either buy, if you're lucky to have a removable battery, and that's pretty much now, Samsung's the only company that still does that. They'll buy extra batteries. That's what I would do with Samsung phones. Or they'll buy a battery charger. These aren't very big, maybe the size of a pack of cigarettes. They usually have enough juice. You charge them before you leave the house, of course, to recharge your phone 2 or 3 times. And then you'll get it through. Then it'll get you through the day. So I usually buy them from a company named Anker, A-N-K-E-R. They're on Amazon. Or Jackery. Both of those are quite good. A-N-K-E-R. And you can see, if you look at them, they'll give you a rating for milliamp hours. Look at your phone and find out what the battery's rated for. In the case of the Samsung Galaxy S5, I think it's 2,800 milliamp hours, something like that, 2,400 milliamp hours. So that's how much juice is in one battery. So divide the big battery by that, and that'll tell you how many times you can fully charge the phone, give or take. It's nice to have some way of keeping the phone going, even if you're in the woods. It's just disappointing. This is one of the things. This is unfortunately one of the things we all have to suffer. We've moved from these feature phones that would go a week to phones that barely get a day. Avis is next in Santa Ana, California. Hi, Avis. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi there, Leo. I appreciate you taking my call. And you know how that saying goes, when the student wants to learn, the teacher suddenly appears.
I hope that's the case.
Yes. Well, I'm listening now, and I have pen in hand, because I remember you bringing this up before, and I didn't write a thing down, but it stuck in my mind. I'm going to be remodeling my home in a big way, and it's very painful.
Yeah.
Financially, in every way.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But I want to do the right thing as far as wiring. I have 3 computers. I'm going to pretty soon get the TV going, and then security cameras probably.
Oh, how nice. So you want to send a lot of data around, because that video especially is very fat. So that means you want a high-speed connection.
Right.
It's hard to future-proof. It's expensive to future-proof. One thing that will help future-proof is when you have, as long as you got the walls open, when you have the contractors doing that, have them not only pull the wires, but put conduit in. That is, that way you can run other wires down. In 10 years, when the latest, greatest thing comes out that carries an infinite amount of data, you could just run that through those conduit. It makes it much easier to upgrade.
Makes sense, absolutely.
Yeah. But if you're going to put in something right now, I think Cat 6 Ethernet is a little more expensive than Cat 5, which is kind of the standard, but it'll carry the highest data rate. We have Cat 6 here in the studio, and we're able to send a gigabyte of data a second. A gigabyte of data. That means that's a 10 gigabit Ethernet connection, and that requires Cat 6.
So Cat is C-A-T, K-A-T?
C-A-T for category.
Oh, I got you.
So there's all kinds of Ethernet wiring. The higher quality of the wiring, the higher the number. There's Cat 5, which is very common. Cat 5e for enhanced. But Cat 6 will allow, if it's real Cat 6 and you've got appropriate switches in the boxes at the end of it, it'll allow you to run as much as 10 gigabits per second. That is fast enough, as I said, to move a gigabyte a second. And that is plenty even for 4K video, for super high def. So that should last you for a while. But as I said, if you do that in conduit, then when Cat 18 comes out, you can just put that in there.
Oh, great.
What happens, though, is as you go up in the cat
the
numbers...
conduit part, and I couldn't remember anything
Conduit
else,
is the key. And Cat 6, you know what, if that's too expensive, it costs more per foot as you go up in numbers. You could put Cat 5 or Cat 5e in. That would be sufficient for today. That would give you 100 megabits. But if you really want high speed, gigabit and then 10 gigabit, that makes a big difference.
Wonderful. And if I'm going upstairs, I'm maybe adding a room on top. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good. Hey, this is an opportunity to do that. You know, it's funny. For years, I would tell people to do that, and then everybody got Wi-Fi, and we didn't need to open the walls at all. But when but now we're moving so much data that you do want maybe some hard wiring in there. And Cat 6 will do a great job. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Sorry. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. David is in Burbank, our next caller. Hi, David.
Hi there. How you doing, Leo?
I'm well. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you for asking.
What can I do for you?
We're a family that has PCs and Macs and, iPads, towers, and Mac. But I have a PC that's the main computer for the family, for the kids doing homework and things. And about 2 months ago in September, the computer started having the blue screen of death.
Uh-oh.
Continuously.
Ew.
So I was suggested to try the Geek Squad. Can I say that? I can say that, right?
You can say that.
Yeah. So
I could say, Squad. Ew. Okay, go ahead.
But I was.
How did the Geek Squad do for you?
Well, I bring the computer in, and they tell me that they're going to fix it and put it back to the way it was supposed to be. And when I took it back, the first thing they did was try to sell me this thing called WebRoot.
That's fine. That's an antivirus.
But the problem is, I've never used WebRoot. I've only used Norton or McAfee or Kaspersky.
Yeah, if you've already got an antivirus on there, them selling you a different one is merely an attempt to make money.
But they didn't ask me what I had on there, and they said, this is what we recommend.
Yeah, whatever.
I was there because the computer was getting blue screen. They said probably got viruses.
Okay. This is why we don't go to the Geek Squad.
So I did get the WebRoot, and they put it on there, and I've been back.
You mean without even looking at it?
Well, they hadn't seen it yet. They
didn't even look at it. They just said, "Are you getting blue screens? That must be a virus by WebRoot."
No, they were saying that you need to get this WebRoot.
But they hadn't even looked at it.
I know.
How do they know what's wrong with it?
Well, they assumed because of the blue screen that.
Boy, they're better than me. I tell you, I couldn't tell what was wrong with it just from that description.
Mental telepathy.
That's amazing. Wow, these guys must be geniuses. Oh, no, that's Apple.
True.
A blue screen of death is not equal to virus. WebRoot is not better than any other antivirus. This is why we don't go to the Geek Squad.
Well, they did fix the computer and said it was like new because I had asked them, is it a drive issue? Because I'll replace it if it is.
It's like new. What did they do? Did they tell you what they did to make it like new?
Yeah, they cleaned it up. They ran a diagnostic. They said that all the hardware was fine and that the software was all in place.
And then they say that the blue screens were coming from viruses?
Yes.
Then they're nitwits.
It said it had been affected by...
Viruses don't give you blue screens of death. So they're nitwits.
So what would a blue screen...
They lied to you.
What would be bringing that on?
So a blue screen of death is an error so bad that Windows cannot go on. Which version of Windows are you using?
7 still.
Okay, good. That's a good version. The only way you can get a blue screen of death on a Windows PC is from something that has access to protected memory, what we call ring zero memory. That is either a driver or a hardware issue. A virus will never give you a blue screen of death, ever, unless you've got the virus as a driver. The virus has to have extreme permissions. Now, let me tell you something. If you've got teenagers using a computer, there are better things to do than put WebRoot on your system.
Well, I got them to change it and take it back and give me Kaspersky, and it's there now.
Kaspersky? You had Kaspersky on it before?
No, I think it was Norton.
Okay. I'm not crazy about Norton, but mostly not because it's a bad antivirus, but because it's bloated. The truth is, and all the antiviruses are roughly the same. There's even a free one from Microsoft called Security Essentials. That's all you really need. The antivirus doesn't protect you because no antivirus is going to stop you from doing dumb things. And if you have teenagers using a computer, they're going to do dumb things.
Well, they're like 11 and 13. They're only going to YouTube.
Well, but, you know, I got an 11-year-old. Actually, he's 12 now. And he likes to play Minecraft, and he's always downloading mods for Minecraft. Now, sometimes those are harmless. Sometimes they're not. They're malware. Kids don't have the same kind of critical faculties we adults have. So they will do stuff that they shouldn't do. So the first thing to do, the most important thing to do on that computer is not let them run as administrators.
Got it.
Make them limited users. So you're going to, basically what you're going to do, and this is good on all versions of Windows, is you're going to create a new account on there that's the administrator account. Keep the password to yourself. Log into that new administrator account and then go into the user control panel and say the old account now is no longer administrator. It's a limited or standard user. They use varying terms depending on the version of Windows. If they're standard users, they can't install software, which means they can't get malware. So suddenly they're gonna say, "Daddy." But the problem is you don't want them to install software. You want to install it and using your higher level critical faculties, because no antivirus is going to prevent you from installing malware. It's just not. If it did, you would find this antivirus highly intrusive because it would block you from doing things you want to do.
Right.
So antiviruses only stand back and watch you make mistakes, and then after you install malware tests, if you're lucky, they'll say, "Hey, you got some malware now."
But if the blue screen of death is continuous, it's still happening now.
Of course it's happening because they didn't fix the problem.
It's been back.
They didn't fix the problem. It had nothing to do with viruses. The blue screen of death had to do with either bad drivers or more likely bad hardware. Lots of different things can go wrong. A blue screen of death is an error so bad Windows can't recover. And malware doesn't do that. It's rare to see malware do that because it doesn't have that kind of access to low-level memory. This has to be, usually it has to be something pretty serious. Either a hardware flaw, a motherboard with some issues, a power supply with some issues, a video card with some issues, or a bad driver, because drivers do have access to that low-level memory that rings.
Okay, and they're not giving me that information because...
No, because they're idiots. Their job is to sell you stuff you don't need.
But they could sell me a new computer if they said that this one's tired.
Guess what?
They never said that.
They frequently do.
Hasn't happened yet.
Give them time.
Well, like I said, it's starting to get real. It's wearing me down because yesterday I spent, an hour on the phone. The day before that, they did a remote fix, supposedly. And, they want you to analyze, to give a survey before you even have a chance.
Yeah. No, stop going. The problem is, it's really a problem because I wish that every community had some trusted, intelligent tech guy that you could go to who really did know what he was doing and really could fix it. The Geek Squad is, sometimes there are people in the Geek Squad who are smart and know what they're doing, but most of these guys were trained by Best Buy to follow a script. And guess what? That's exactly what you're getting. Blue screen of death must be, you need to buy WebRoot. No.
Okay, well, I didn't know. That's why.
Well, no one knows. And this is terrible. I agree. This is not right. And it's a shame. I can't say uniformly that they're terrible because it's very possible you get somebody who actually knows what he's doing in there and he could fix the problem for you. But it's a crapshoot because you don't know if you're going to get that guy or you're going to get, Freddie, who they hired 3 days ago and trained by giving him a notebook.
Huh. Okay.
So you do have an issue with your hardware probably because of the blue screen of death. The thing I would do, and I would recommend you do, is reinstall. I hate to say this, but it's really the best thing to do at this point. Your computer came with either recovery disks or a recovery partition that will allow you to go back to the factory state.
Okay.
By doing that, you'll probably, I hope, eliminate the blue screen. If you don't, then there is literally a hardware flaw in the computer.
Yeah, because it's a new SSD drive. The drive is new, and that's why...
It's not the drive.
I've heard people that have had problems with drives.
Yeah, it's not the drive. Drives don't cause blue screens of death.
Okay.
Bad power supply, bad motherboard, bad drivers, those can cause blue screens of death.
And obviously they're not diagnosing it if I've had it back 3 times.
They're not even attempting to.
just cleaning up viruses and saying
I don't even know if they're cleaning up. You can't clean up viruses. You have to wipe the drive. There's no way. People say, "Oh, I could fix it." They can't, because you can't ever be sure that it's clean. You need to wipe the drive and start over. If you have those recovery discs, start there. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
It's the best way to meet.
It is absolutely conceivable that something could be corrupted on the drive, a driver or some low-level thing, and that it could cause a blue screen of death. But a bad drive by itself, probably not.
Crystal clear high-def video conferencing.
Drivers cause blue screens of death. Anything that operates in ring 0 can cause a blue screen of death. A drive could cause a blue screen of death because the data coming off the drive was in some very particular way broken, but it's highly unlikely. Yeah, bad memory, bad motherboard, bad power supply. A hardware problem is the most likely. The second most common, or actually I don't know which is the most common, probably driver issues are most common. Drivers can cause blue screens of death because they operate in ring 0. I never said drivers can't cause blue screens of death. I said drives. Well, it's not likely the Blu-ray drive caused to be SOD. The driver for the Blu-ray drive might have. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number, 888-827-5536. I wish there were a better way. I deeply wish, it's futile, but that every community had a place you could go where somebody who really understood technology and could fix it. You know, some guy in the back room there is sitting there, and you could just bring your stuff to him and say, it's got a blue screen of death, and he wouldn't try to upsell you something you don't need, but he'd actually fix the problem, and you'd go home and it'd be better. And there are definitely people who can do that. There are lots of them. But, you know, truthfully, they can make a lot more money working for a company or doing something else if they're that good than working for the Geek Squad, and that's really the problem. There are a few really good Geek Squad people, but most of the time, you're not going to get the support you want. I wish you would. In all likelihood, those blue screens are caused by some hardware issue. A blue screen of death is such a serious error that Windows can't go on. That means that the operating system low-level memory has been corrupted, or there's been a hardware failure so severe that it just says, I can't go on, I'm stopping. And on a modern version of Windows, that's hard to do. Programs crash, that's different. A blue screen of death means a pretty serious error, either a hardware error or a driver error. Something pretty serious has gone wrong. It's not a virus. Ken in Los Angeles, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Ken. Uh-oh. There we go. Come on over to the phone, Ken. You're on.
I was listening to the game.
I don't blame you. Which game?
San Francisco, man. 49ers.
Oh, don't get me started. Oh.
Hey, listen, they're playing in Seattle. I hope they win.
I know. I'd love to see them beat the Hawks, but I just don't feel that will happen.
Not up there.
It's hard to win in that very, very noisy stadium. They've got the 12th man, you know.
Yeah, but
and
you know,
he's loud.
Seattle's going one direction, and the Niners are going another direction.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it. One's up, one's down. What can I do for you today?
They're following the Lakers.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I got a problem with my monitor. What happens is when I go on the computer and all the icons come on, they turn to a negative. Everything on this. Okay, I put a new cable, and then I have a second monitor, which is also a TV. I hook that up, same problem.
Okay, well, we know it's not the monitor or the cable.
Right.
We now know it's software.
Yeah, you think it's a graphics card?
Well, it could be a couple of things. First of all, go into accessibility and make sure you haven't changed it into a high contrast mode. Is everything a negative or just the icons?
Just the icons, because what I can do is if I take the cable out and I plug it back in, it's back to normal.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know it. But
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I've never, you know, the computer's only 5 years old, so the graphics card's relatively new.
Okay, so you boot up. The icons are negative of the color.
Well, what they'll do usually, they usually come on normal. Then within a couple seconds, down on my lower taskbar, that turns completely white. Then it goes to negative.
Yeah.
Looks like a film negative.
I think you should install WebRoot. No, I'm just kidding. Sounds like maybe you've got a bad cable. Have you tried swapping the cable out?
I did. I put a brand new cable in.
All right.
And it's the same problem. But if I disconnect it and I check the pins are all straight.
And but let me get this clear. So if you opened a word processor document, that would be normal. If you browse the web, that would be normal. It's just those icons.
No, what'll happen is, okay, if I open up, I'm on, okay, I'm on.
I'm just trying to find out, and you could answer this yes or no. Is it change the whole screen?
Have I changed the whole screen?
Does it change the whole screen to negative?
Yeah, the whole thing's negative.
Okay, good. That's all I wanted to know. Because it would be weird if it were just the icons. I would, and then it's odd. You unplug it and you plug it in again, it's all better.
Yeah, because my my screensaver, the background, that all goes like a negative print also.
Yeah. And it does it with two different monitors. It does the same thing.
It does, yeah, because I think I tried that. So I put the other monitor on, and I even changed the cable.
It's almost certainly your video card. The first thing I would try is updating the drivers on the video card. Make sure you've got the latest version. If there's something wrong with the driver, it could be that. But I would guess, given that it will right itself if you try again, that tells me it's the hardware and it's the video card. So almost certainly you need to replace the video card. If it's a motherboard video card, that's a little bit challenging. You know, if you're not using a standalone video card plugged into the slot of the motherboard, but instead it's using the video capabilities that came with the motherboard, well, then maybe you could buy a third-party video card, put it in the slot, and use that instead. But it's almost certainly an issue with the video card itself. Ronnie in Anchorage, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Ronnie.
Hey, how are you, Leo? This is like my fourth time talking to you, but I've been sitting here for a while, so I must love you.
You must. You've been on hold for a week.
Yeah. So, I'm hoping you can save me $100.
All right.
The Nexus player.
Don't buy it.
When I watched before, wait a minute. So when I watched Before You Buy, I had watched another video, and it had Chad glossed over the USB port. It's got OTG support. So this guy on YouTube, he loaded Google on their Chrome.
Oh, you can hack it.
Well, he didn't hack it. He just sideloaded it. He didn't have to hack it.
It is Android. It's an Android device. So yeah.
And
he probably had to unlock it before he did that, though. I would guess.
I don't. But that's what I'm asking you. Can you look at it again? Can you revisit that?
Yeah,
again?
we didn't. When we reviewed it, we didn't review it for hackability, and we don't generally do that on those reviews. We review it as is because most people are not going to attempt to hack it. But that's interesting. That USB port is capable of. You could use it to sideload stuff and modify it. That makes it a more interesting thing. That's not how most people are going to use it, but it is. Then it does become a $99 Android device you could plug into your TV, and that is a little bit more interesting. I agree.
Yeah, so when Chad was looking at it, he was like, well, I hate this because you can't type, but this guy took the OTG cable without hacking it and just plugged in a keyboard and mouse. And
yeah, this OTG or on the go means that you can use it as a storage device, which means you can put stuff on it.
Yeah.
Did the guy? It's really important. Did he hack it? Did he have to modify it?
No, you know what? I can't remember. He might have changed.
I'm guessing that it's locked in some way, but it may be easily modified. So the thing to do would be to go to XDA Developers is probably the best place to go and look up the Nexus TV and see what people have done with it. I would guess there'd be some modification involved before you could use it as a computer. But we've seen a lot of Android sticks and that kind of stuff. So that makes it kind of an intriguing device for $99. We will look at Ronnie to answer your question. Yes, we will look into it and figure out what more you can do with that. That's intriguing. Although I have to say, if that's what you want to do, there are even less expensive devices that will probably be a little bit easier to modify and use that way. Out of time. Have a great Geek Week. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, the Tech Guy is just the tip of the iceberg. We do nearly 30 shows now on the Twit Netcast Network, and you'll find them all at twit.tv. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPad on iPad Today. You get your daily dose of tech news from Tech News Today, and our weekly roundtable show, This Week in Tech. It's all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next time with another great Tech Guy podcast. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.